Welcome on in, trainers. In this video, I'm going to give you all the top counters for the Unova, Legendary, and Mythical bosses that are going to be out for the Road to Unova and Unova Tour. They will be able to be shiny, and they will also know their signature moves. And there's also going to be some special backgrounds available, which we'll talk about in a second. But let's jump into looking at which Pokemon are out on which days and some of their usefulness and the top counters to go after. The Mythical Genesect will be in 5-star raids on Monday, February 24th, and they will also get a raid hour that day. You can see all the different forms and their signature moves up here. Now, important thing to note about these, they are good bug type raid attackers with Fury Cutter and X Scissor, so they don't need their signature moves for that. They are ranking number 4 excluding Megas and number 2 excluding Megas and Shadows. Now for PvP, Chill Drive ranks the highest in Master League at number 69. It does need its signature move there, Technoblast Chill, which it will have during these raids, but they are all somewhat spicy in Ultra League and Master League, generally with those signature moves. Now in terms of counters, they are all bug steel typing, which means they take 256% damage from fire, so definitely go with your top fire counters here. So here are the top ones. Mega Charizard Y is the best mega to go with for damage. I'll give you the megas you can use for candies in a second if you'd rather go that route, but here are the top counters excluding megas and primals. A lot of shadows in there which are not exactly budget friendly, so here are the top 20 counters you can use that are not megas, primals, or shadows. Now if you still need more to fill out that team, just put in your best fire type Pokemon with fire type moves, and you're going to be doing 256% damage. Now in terms of megas for candies, if you'd rather go that route, here are all your top megas for the bug and steel typings. Just remember to use whichever mega you have at the highest mega level, as that gets you more candy and the best chance at Candy XL. All right, next up, let's take a look at the Swords of Justice. They're going to be on raids on Tuesday, February 25th. They will have a raid hour on that day as well. Starting here with Cobalion, it is a good Ultra League Pokemon, ranking number 11 right now. As a raid attacker, it is mid at best, ranking highest at number 19 for fighting types. But as it's hard to get candy for and other budget options are better, this is mainly a GBL Ultra League Pokemon. Now it is a steel fighting type, so it takes 160% damage from fire, fighting, and ground types. Here are the top counters, including megas and primals. Mega Lucario being the best and Primal Groudon coming in second. Lucario will do more damage per second, but has a slightly lower total damage output as it isn't quite as bulky as Primal Groudon. In terms of non-mega and primal counters, here are the top 10. And if you still need some more to fill out your team, taking out the shadows as well as the megas and primals, here are the top 20 counters you can use to fill out that team. Now in terms of megas to boost candy gains, if you'd rather go that route, you can use any of these fighting or steel type megas. Again, just use whichever one is at the highest mega level. Terrakion is another Sword of Justice legendary Pokemon. Now it is a great fighting type raid attacker, ranking number 3 or number 1 excluding megas, and a good rock type raid attacker too, ranking number 10 overall or number 2 excluding megas and shadows. He is also ranking number 100 in the Master League right now, and you do want that signature move Sacred Sword, which it will have, so definitely a good one to go after here. Now as a rock fighting type, it does take 160% damage from a lot of other types, including fairy, fighting, grass, ground, psychic, steel, and water. That does mean there are a lot of options for counters if you have Pokemon powered up that are of that type with those type moves. But in terms of the top counters, here are the top ones. Primal Kyogre ranking highest for primal and megas, but Primal Groudon is a close second and is generally more useful in Pokemon Go, so longer term it might be a better investment Stardust wise. And then here are the top 10 counters excluding megas. Still a decent amount of shadows in here, so excluding shadows as well. Here are the top 20 counters that you can use to take down Terrakion quickly. And then again, if you want a mega for candy instead of for counters, here are the candy megas you can use that are of that rock fighting type. Again, use whichever one you have at the highest mega level. All right, Virizion is our third in the 3 Swords of Justice Pokemon. Now in terms of raid attackers, it doesn't excel at either types, ranking best at fighting is number 18, but Terrakion is far better. Virizion is, however, decent in the Master League, ranking number 75, and it's even better in the Ultra League, ranking number 36. You might have to trade it to get some ideal PvP IVs there. And again, you do want that Sacred Sword for GBL, which it will have. Now this one is a grass fighting type, which means it's going to take 256% damage from those flying type Pokemon with flying type moves. The top counters, including megas, are these 7 here, stocked with flying type Pokemon, of course, with their flying type moves. And the top counters, excluding megas, are these top 10 Pokemon here. And if we exclude megas and shadows, so you can fill out your team, these are the top 20 counters here. Again, go with your best flyers with flying type moves and you should be fine taking this one down. Now, if you want a mega for candy gains instead of as a counter, you can go with any of these fighting or grass type megas. And once again, use whichever one is at the highest mega level. All right, now let's talk about the Therian forms. We have Therian form Tornadus, Thundurus, and Landorus. They will all be out with a raid hour on Wednesday, February 26th. Now, Tornadus can be a spice pick in the Master League, but it doesn't rank too well as a flying type raid attacker at number 18, which is pretty low for a Pokemon that isn't easy to get candies for. So this one is more of a shiny hunt here. It is a pure flying type Pokemon, so it takes 160% damage from electric, ice, and rock types. In terms of top counters, here are the best ones, including Megas. Mega Manectric and Mega Aerodactyl or Mega Ampharos are also decent mega choices here. Now, excluding Megas, these are the top 10 counters. Again, a lot of shadows, so if you want to save on Stardust and Candy, here are the top 20 counters, excluding Megas and Shadows. Just remember to go with your best electric, ice, and rock types, making sure they have those moves. Now, if you want a Mega for Candy instead of for counters, you can go with any of these flying Megas here. All right, another Therian form here is Therian form Thundurus. This one is another spicy pick for Master League, but it fares a bit better than Tornadus as a raid attacker. Thundurus comes in at number 7 as an electric type. However, Zekrom, which will also be out for the event, ranks far better. So unless you're after some more Master League spice, this one might be mainly a shiny hunt. Now, in terms of counters, here are the tops. Shadow's actually dominating the top spots, but Mega Diancie, Mega Titar, Mega Garchomp, and Mega Rayquaza are all good counters here. Now, excluding Megas, here are the top 10 counters. Some good non-shadows in here already, but if we take out the shadows, Megas, and Primals all together, we can get a good look at the top 20 counters that might be a little bit cheaper to power up. And again, if you'd rather Mega for Candy rather than as a counter, you can go with any of these Megas here. All right, now our best Therian form here, Therian Landorus. Now, it ranks number 8 in the Master League with the signature attack Sandsear Storm. That signature attack also makes it a number 5 ground type raid attacker and number 1 excluding Megas and Shadows. So definitely a good one to go after. Now, as a flying ground type Pokemon, it is going to take 256% damage from those ice type moves. Now, here are the top counters. Primal Kyogre or Mega Abomasnow being the best in terms of Megas or Primals. Just make sure your Primal Kyogre has that ice type move on it. Mega Rayquaza can do a decent job, as can Mega Gardevoir with the triple axle charged move. If we're looking at the top 10 excluding Megas and Primals, these are the best options here to put on your team. And if we take out all the Shadows, Megas, and Primals, here are the top 20 counters that you can use to fill out the rest of your team to take down Therian Landorus. And again, if you'd rather Mega for Candy rather than as a counter, you can go with any of these Megas here. Reshiram will be in 5-star raids during Road to Unova on Thursday, February 27th. It is going to get a raid day that day as well, and it will know its signature move, Fusion Flare. It is a good fire type raid attacker, ranking number 5 overall, but number 1 excluding Megas and Shadows. It's also ranking number 34 in Master League, again with that signature move Fusion Flare, which it will have from these raids. So another top tier legendary to go after here. Reshi is a dragon fire type Pokemon, so it is going to take 160% damage from those dragon, ground, and rock type moves. Here are the top counters, including the best Megas or Primals to choose from. Now, taking out those Megas or Primals, here are the top counters. And if we take out the Shadows as well, here are the top 20 counters for Reshi. Just remember, if you're using dragons, they will end up taking 160% damage from dragon attacks if you're fighting a Reshiram that happens to have, say, a dragon charged move. And then if you want to use a Mega for candies rather than as a counter, here are your options for Reshiram. Zekrom will be in the 5-star raids for Road to Unova on Friday, February 28th. And again, it will get a raid hour that day, and it will know its signature move, Fusion Flare. It is a top tier electric type raid attacker, ranking number 2 overall and number 1 excluding Shadows, using that signature move, Fusion Bolt. It also ranks number 31 in Master League, but interestingly, without Fusion Bolt. Now, in terms of top counters, these are the top 7 overall, including Megas. Once you've chosen your Mega, here are the top 10 counters you can use to fill out the team for taking down Zekrom. And if you still need some more and don't want to power up something like expensive Shadows, here are the top 20 counters that you can use to fill out that team. And then if you want a Mega for Candy, you can use an electric or a ground type Mega. Here are your options here. Again, just remember to go with every one you have at the highest Mega level. All right, now we need to talk about Kyurem and its fusion forms. Kyurem won't actually be appearing during Road to Unova or Unova Tour. Instead, you will get Kyurems from raiding the fusion forms, Black Kyurem or White Kyurem. Once you defeat it, it will separate. You'll have a chance to catch Kyurem, and you'll also get that fusion energy that you need to fuse Zekrom or Reshiram with Kyurem. So these are going to be some very important raids to go after. And of course, they are going to have some special backgrounds. And if you fuse a Kyurem, say, with a white background with a Zekrom with the black background, you're going to get a combo background there. And just so you know, Reshiram will always have the white background, Zekrom will always have the black background, but Kyurem that you get from the fusion raids could either have black or white, giving you a chance to get those unique combo backgrounds. Now, another thing to note here is the fusion forms will have those signature moves that have adventure effects. We'll talk about what those are in a second, but in order to get that with the fusion form, this is going to work a little bit differently than the previous ones, where if you just fuse them, you got it no matter what. To get it on these ones, you need Kyurem to know its signature move, Glaciate. Presumably it will have it during the Unova Tour raids. Now let's take a look at the fusion form stats compared to regular Kyurem. Now regular Kyurem has a max CP of 4041, an attack of 246, a defense of 170, and a stamina of 245. Black and white Kyurem both have the same stats, so their max CP is 5206, a fairly big jump there, and that's mainly due to the attack, which goes up to 310, and then the defense gets a little bit of a boost going to 183, and its stamina, which is its hit points, stay the same at 245. Now, because these are new, haven't even been released yet, we don't have a breakdown for them for PvP or as raid attackers, but they will be stronger than Kyurem, and it's looking like white Kyurem will be a very good ice type raid attacker, and black Kyurem will be the best of the two for PvP. Plus their signature moves here will have those adventure effects, so let's talk about what they do. For white Kyurem with Ice Burn, when activated using Candy and Stardust, it's going to slow down that target ring when you're catching Pokemon, and then for black Kyurem, it's going to get Freeze Shock, which when activated using Candy and Stardust will cause Pokemon to freeze in place when catching, so kind of like an Anab Berry there. They won't jump around or otherwise move around on screen. I think that one will be the most useful, especially for going after those really jumpy legendary raid bosses or those flyers that tend to move around a lot. That could make them quite a bit easier to catch. Okay, let's talk about the top counters for taking down these Pokemon now, starting with white Kyurem. So here are the top counters here, including Megas, and then the top 10 excluding Megas are these Pokemon here to help you fill out the team. And if you want something cheaper than some of those Shadows, here are the top 20 excluding Megas, Primals, and Shadows. They can help you fill out that team to take down white Kyurem. All right, now in terms of black Kyurem, here are the top counters again, including those Megas. You'll notice Primal Groudon popping up a lot, so that's definitely a good Pokemon to invest in if you haven't powered some of those up already. Now the top 10 excluding Megas are these Pokemon here to help you fill out that team. And if you need a few more beyond that and you don't want to power up some expensive Shadows, here are the top 20 excluding Megas, Primals, and Shadows that you can use to take down black Kyurem during Unova Tour. All right, everybody, that's all the information I have for you in this video. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section down below, or you can pop on over to our Discord. Lots of knowledgeable people there that can help you out. But right now we have to say a huge thank you to our mythical members, King's Lounge, Body on a Planet, and Kate. Thank you to them for supporting the channel at the mythical level, as well as all of our members and all of you who come and watch these videos. Come and watch the live streams, whether you lurk or chat, hit that like and subscribe button. All of that stuff is super helpful. I hope you have a great fun during Road to Unova and Unova Tour. Maybe get yourself some nice shiny legendaries with backgrounds, and we'll see you in the next one, friends.
I've got something incredibly funky.